Are you ready to take your finances to the next level? Are you ready to learn what's not taught in schools regarding building generational wealth? If your answer is yes, welcome to the conversation. Let's talk income shifting. Let's talk cash flow management. Let's talk improving your credit score. Let's talk investing. Let's talk finance with Melissa and Tony.
Hey y'all. Well, if y'all were tuning in, hoping to see Tony's smiling face, y'all gonna be disappointed tonight because it's just me. He had a previous engagement, and I had already sent out the reminder before I realized he wasn't gonna be able to come on. So I'm like, whatever. I just hang out with y'all by myself tonight. So y'all stuck with me, only me. So anyway. For anyone who does not know who I am Melissa King. I'm a home-based business owner, and I have been for the last 9 years. Well, not quite 9. It'll be 9 in November. And I say that with a lot of pride, y'all, because I am not one for sticking with I move around a lot. So if you've heard me talk before, I usually don't even stay on a W-2 job longer than 3 years. Once 3 years comes around, I start getting that itch, and I feel like, it's time to do something else. Because, I will say this. I went to school for the field that I work in, and it's provided me pretty well. But it is one of the most boring jobs in the world. And I can be honest with you when I say that. So anything that allows you to have an outlet to do something creative, I really appreciate. So my home-based business is a personal finance business that usually Tony and I come on here together and we talk about it on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. We've been missing some Tuesdays. Stuff been popping up that we had to do. So we didn't come on Tuesday. Like I said, I'm here by myself tonight. So with hey Sandy, I'm so glad to see you, girl. I thought I was gonna be here talking to myself. Tony had another engagement tonight, so it's just me. Look, unless you want to come up here too. But yeah, I've been doing this business for 9 years. It's a personal financial success company called myEcon. The reason it's called myEcon is simply because that's short for my economy. Now, when I say my economy, I'm talking about my bills, my budget, my retirement, everything that deals with me and money. It's personalized to me because this business comes with these strategies that allows you to guide your finances in a way that works best for you. And the reason I keep stressing for you and personalize is because everybody's financial situation is not the same. So when I joined this business back in 2015, I was looking for I didn't know I was looking for it until I heard about it. You know how it is. Sometimes you don't know what you're even looking for until somebody bring it up that it's something you might need. So I had a decent job, but taxes was kicking my butt. And I know some of y'all can relate to this. You feel like you're going to work, you're doing what you're supposed to do, doing all the right things. Then when tax time come around, you getting a slap on the wrist for doing all the right things. So, thank you, Pandy. I I pushed through, like I said, because I waited until he had texted me earlier. I just knew that he wasn't gonna come on. But I'm like, you know what? You know, Tony just be up here for eye candy anyway. I really do all of the educating. He just here for that. And he gonna kill me when he hit his playback. But and Tony is the one who um introduced me to the business. He didn't technically introduce me. I was around here peeping on his Facebook page and all of these posts he put on here about this cash flowing he doing and money he's saving. So anyway, like I said, I was in a situation where taxes were beating me up, and to avoid having to pay back taxes, what I would do is have them take extra money out of my check. So that was, extra money out of my check is just that. It's making my check smaller. And so, when I saw him talking about this business and everything that it was doing for him, that was when I broke down and had a conversation with him. And it turned out this was exactly what I needed. I needed something to give me some, oh, thank you for sharing it, Pandy. I needed something to give me some deductions. I didn't own I wasn't buying a home. I was renting. I had one child, and even though she means the world to me, she didn't give me a buttload of deductions. I got some, but especially when she started regular school. Now when she was in daycare, I could do the what is it called? Is it earned income credit? Whatever you get when you can count the money you're paying towards daycare. But when she turned 5 and she started going to regular school, it wasn't no more daycare. So I lost that. So I'm like, it's gonna be rough. So, I'm going to my tax person every year and I'm asking, she's telling me the same old, same old. I'm like, what can I do? And she's like, you can either buy a house or have some more kids. And I'm like, neither one of them gonna have before you see me again next year. So I just kept, like, it got to the point where I was having them take an extra $50 out for federal and an extra $50 out for state, just so I would not owe at the end of the year. And I would be honest, I didn't realize how taxes work. I mean, I knew that you go to work, they take taxes out. I didn't know what the formula was on how they decide how much taxes they were taking out of any of that stuff. So I was pretty much just like, and you know how you don't really ask questions because you're like, I don't even know what question to ask. They're gonna take the taxes out. What? So I started talking to my econ associates, and they were telling me, you can actually tell them how many taxes, how much you want taken out for taxes. I'm like, since when? Because they sure didn't ask my permission to give them. So I'm gonna be able to go over there and tell them to stop taking them out. So basically, what they explained to me was how taxes work. Okay, Patty said, correcting my W-2 was most definitely a game changer since all of my dependents are grown now. Okay, and I know it's a lot of people in that situation. And the thing about the tax part is when you don't know how you don't know how it works, you can't do the things that you can do to avoid getting caught up in that trap. So went ahead, joined the business, still didn't quite know what the business was about, but I felt like once I understand it, it was gonna be beneficial. So, I got in, I stayed in, and I just slowly started picking up stuff. At first I wasn't very verbal with telling people about the business because I was scared they were gonna have some questions that I couldn't answer. And then how you telling people about something you can't answer questions about? That sounds crazy. So I wasn't saying a whole lot, even though Tony had said, there's plenty of us who have been doing this for a while. If you meet somebody that's interested in hearing about the business, let us know and we'll talk to them for you since you don't completely know how everything works. And eventually I did get around to it because, like I said, if I don't have, I feel like people are not going to trust my business if I don't know what I'm talking about. But the thing about it, it didn't need for me to know what I was talking about for it to work, for the business to do what it does. So whether I knew what was going on or not in the fine details, it was actually working for me. And so the reason they were stressing, if I meet somebody that wants to talk about it, is because they do give you a financial incentive. This is a what do you call it? Network marketing. So, and when I say network marketing, don't start throwing up the extras. It's not a bad thing, y'all. I used to be the same way. Like, what? I thought, am I gonna be calling folks, doing cold calls to folks on the telephone, asking them if they want to start getting in my business, the business that I can't explain to them? So that's not really the whole point of it, but that was my understanding of it. So once I got in and I finally realized, okay, it's really just talking, networking with people and sharing information. And as a financial incentive, if I share the information, like say Pandy was someone that I met on YouTube when Tony and I were doing we were guests on Brianna Simone's show. And we were talking about taxes and everything. I think were we talking about taxes or credit? I think we were talking about credit. And so she reached out to us, networking, reached out to us about it. She liked what she heard. She signed up. I did get a financial incentive for inviting her, but after that, it was pretty much Pandy doing Pandy. I was here as a reference, but it's not like I was drained. I was getting rich because Pandy came in and started the business. And for me, even though I do share the information and I would love for people to join, the biggest bonus in the business for me, other than my own personal, the tax bonus, is like helping other people learn about money because I know how I was. And I have a college degree and I felt like I should have known more than I knew, but I knew the only way people would know how much I didn't know is if I opened my mouth. So to avoid those issues, a lot of times when people start talking about it, I just wouldn't say nothing. But now I'm in a place where I can get on here every week, share information with y'all, and help y'all learn about some stuff like I did. So I tried now. If y'all follow me for a while, I say all the time, my desktop is from 2016. I have not upgraded, and it gives me a fit when I try to do certain things on here. I did download something that I wanted to share, but it's a good possibility that I'm gonna get kicked out when I open this if I try to open it up. I'm trying to, because I like having visuals, and plus I don't want y'all to have to just sit up here and look at me since it's just me tonight. So okay, let me see if it's gonna do right. Give me just a second. See if it uploaded. Okay, it did upload. Okay, now I ain't told it to get on here and go this fast though. Hold on, slow your roll thing. Well, it's doing its own thing. It's not allowing me to be able to control how fast it goes, unfortunately. Let me see. Will it let me do that? I don't know, y'all. This thing so now it done played and it's back to me. I thought it was gonna let me like control how fast to go, but I was wrong. So anyway, basically what that was gonna show. And maybe next time I'll have it where I can. Let me try one more thing. Y'all hold on. Let me try one more thing to see if it works. I don't think it's gonna work. I know you me holding up the show for that. Okay, so basically what that speedy thing that just came through was um when I first started to kind of wrap my mind around the concept of what this business is, I did this illustration where I have two people, Tina and Tara. And we're gonna say that Tina and Tara both work for the same company. They make the same amount a year. They're in the same position, right? So I gave them like a salary of $50,000. So of course, that's gonna get taxed. Now, how it gets taxed is based on a lot of different things. So one of the things that I wanted to share with y'all is if you do not have a business, the whole idea of taxes or with taxes is to lower your taxable income. Your taxable income is income that after you've taken out all of your deductions, that is the amount left that you're gonna be taxed on for the year. And usually, if you are a W-2 employee, you're gonna be taxed at the highest rate, anywhere between like 28, 35%. If you are a business owner, and you know as business owners, you're not a W-2, you're a 1099. You get a statement at the end of the year telling you, showing how much you made, and it'll be taxed at that point. But the good thing about when you're a 1099 is you make the money, you use the money for whatever you need to run your company, and then you are taxed on what's left over. So let's say it cost me $10,000 to. I wish I did have a business that cost me $10,000 because that would mean I would be making a lot more money. But anyway, let's say 10,000 and I made. I'm trying to see how I can say it. Okay, 10,000. Let's say I made 50,000 on this side business. Cross your fingers. That would be nice. If I made 50,000 on the side business and it cost me 10,000 to operate the business, they're going to take that 10,000 out first, and they're going to tax me on what's left, that 40,000, which is good because there are so many. Tony's usually here to show his little book. There are 474 possible deductions for people who have their own home-based business. So there are a lot of things that you don't even think about that are tax deductions if you have a business. And you don't have to have this elaborate business, y'all. Like I said, oh, hey, Sheila. Thank you. Sheila said she liked my hair. Look, I had to change the lighting because, look, the 50 starting to show them dark circles is coming up. So I usually have the light on a lighter thing. I was like, let me turn this down. But anyway, thank you for that compliment, Sheila. Um, oh, and if you guys are into soy candles, Sheila Lee, who is here well, I wish you had been here on the other page. She has Northern, uh, just because I'm trying to think of Northern Soul candles. She does soy candles, all different fragrances. I bought quite a few myself here at the house that we have here at the house. So, I will share her link if you guys want to order some Northern Soul soy candles. Uh, just a little advertising. I'll charge you for that later. I'll bill you for it later, Sheila. Okay. So, um, yeah, if you okay, so we got two people making the same money. Um, let's just say, oh, here we go. That girl on cue right there. Here is her link. So if you guys want love candles, she is your girl. And I'm gonna leave it here in the it'll be in the comments. Oh, I need to make sure it's in the comments. Let me just let me see. Well, yeah, I'm gonna put it in on my because you're on Facebook, but I'm gonna add it over here to my YouTube. ET forward slash all right. So if y'all interested in the candles, that's the link over that I added to the YouTube. So if you're not on Facebook. So anyway, what was I saying? Um, yeah. Okay. So there are a lot of things that we can do, even though we don't have a business. There are other ways that you can lower your taxable income. So I had I wish my thing had a work because darn it. It's got the I can just read it to y'all. Y'all won't be able to see it, but I can see it on my screen. All right. These are some things that you can do even if you don't have a business to lower your taxable income. So let me get to the list, y'all. Okay, so let me just point this out. So in my little slide, I had the layout showing that $50,000 taxed at 35% if you do not have a business and you don't have any other deductions coming out. $50,000 at 35% is going to result in, at 35%, is going to result in you paying $17,500 in taxes just based off that as your taxable income. So let's just say you do some of the things that I'm about to mention now, and you lower your taxable income to $35,000. Now you're still making $50,000. You're just lowering how much of your money you're being taxed on. So if you're able to reduce your taxable income from $50,000 to $35,000, which would be $15,000, then instead of paying that $17,000 on taxes, you're only gonna be paying $12,000 because you're paying taxes on a lower amount. So I wish I could show y'all the visual. It would really help, but you're just gonna have to use your imagination. So here are some things that you can do even if you don't have a business that's gonna lower your taxable income on your job. And the reason I'm talking about this is first of the year, every year when first of the year comes around, you should revisit your W-4. W-4 is that form you fill out, and that's how they decide how much taxes are going to be taken out. It's usually got questions like, can anybody claim you? Do you have any dependents? It'll have you choose between single, head of household, married, how are you going to file? And see, they use all that to figure out how you should be taxed. So, if you have a business, of course, you'll be able to put a lot of the deductions like most home-based business owners like myself. We write off gas mileage if it's related to the business. We can write off internet 100%. We can write off a portion, like 85% of our cell phone bill. And if you have a cell phone bill that's, it's not just me, it's me and my employee in there. So our cell phone bill at one point was about $200. So even at 85%, that still is a good bit that they're knocking off, as a deduction. What's some of the travel expenses? If we travel and it's business related, we can write off the plane ticket. Well, hopefully I won't be riding the bus. Plane ticket, bus ticket, Uber, whatever you're doing, as long as it's related to your business. And if you have a home business like I have, you always taking your business with you because my business is finance. I can talk about that either here, I can talk about it in Birmingham, I can talk about it in New Mexico, wherever I'm at. I can talk about my business and my business with me. So that means that when I'm here in Birmingham or New Mexico, my expenses are business expenses. Y'all get it? So, one of the things that's very important when you're thinking as a business owner is you're not adding the business so much to your life as you are making your life a business. Because if it's something you can have with you all the time, why not advertise and promote it all the time, and especially if that's going to lower your taxable income. But like I said, that's for people who have a business. Right now, I'm just talking to people who just are looking at their W-4 and trying to lower their taxable income. Because, they have the IRS Tax Estimator. That's the tool you can use to go in and you just take your pay stub and plug in all of the information they're asking for straight off your pay stub. And it will tell you at the beginning of the year how much you will owe or how much you will get back based on what you're putting in those how you're filling it out. So it's at that point, if you, like for example, for me, I saw that when I put it in for this year, because think about it, you may get a raise. Younger people may have a kid. Older people may have a kid that's graduating is no longer going to be a dependent. So you want to go in and update that form anyway. And the good thing about updating it with the estimator, I can put in something from my current check, and I don't have to do all that math. It does it for you with this estimator, and I'll put that link in the bottom too. But it is worth it to get your pay stub, go in there and see, and it'll take all that anxiety for those of us who are trying not to pay back, or even, you know, for me, the ideal situation, a lot of people like to treat taxes that are getting a refund like a savings account, and they want to get it this time of the year. But think about it. If you're one of those people that gets a large tax refund, why wait to the end of the year when you could be getting it all year long? So if you already know up front, let's say you know up front you're gonna get 13,000 back based on how your W-4 is filled out. Wouldn't you rather take that 13,000 instead of waiting until next year this time and go ahead and get it now? Because the estimator will help you fill it out so that you get it now. So when I was doing mine, I thought that I was gonna have based on last year's numbers, I was gonna end up owing I think about $700. So what I did was I went into my retirement account. Now a lot of us have 401k or depending on where you work, 403b, whatever they call them, and we're contributing to them. And a lot of times it'll give you up to a certain amount that you can contribute every year. And it'll, like, for the longest, I just went with whatever it was that was the default. And it might have been like 2%. So that means 2% of your income for the year is going to be put into your 401k. And they're going to take it out. They're going to take that full amount. Like if you make 50,000, 2% of 50,000 would be what, 1,000? So take that, divide that 1,000 up into whether if you get paid by the month, 12. If bi-weekly, they'll divide by 26, and that's how much they're going to take out additional of your check for your 401k. Well, that money is considered pre-taxable, pre-tax, which means they're not going to count that as your taxable income. So if you see what I'm getting at, the more money you put there, it lowers your taxable income because now it's reduced your taxable income from 50,000 just based on that 2% to 48,000. No, 49,000 because it took 1,000 off. So things like that lower your taxable income, but the win-win part of it is now if you can afford to have it taken out. A lot of people, because you do know that money is going to lower how much you're going to take home because you're going ahead and putting it into your retirement now. So you have to think about what you can afford to put in there too. So it's a lot of factors involved. But then at the same time, if you can afford to put more than 2% in there, go ahead and put it in there because that just means when you get ready to retire, you'll have more money in there. So that's one thing that I did. I took my IRS, my 401k contribution, I increased it by 1%. And I did that because we did get, a little bit of a raise. And because I think about it like this, they told us we were getting it. I ain't seen it on a check yet. So I can't miss what I haven't seen. So I went ahead and calculated how much that raise was going to be, how much of an increase it would be for an entire year, and went ahead and added that and told them to take my 401k up so that I'm still bringing home the same amount. So it's almost like, let me go on and tell y'all to get it before I see it. Because if I see it, I might want to try to hold on to it. So go on and get it now before I even see it on a paycheck and add it to my retirement. Okay? So here are some things you can do to lower your taxable income. Okay, retirement savings. I just said that. Contribute to employer-sponsored 401k or 403b. This reduces taxable income in the year contributed. Grows tax deferred until withdrawal. Meaning they're gonna tax you on it when you retire. But depending on how old you are, you can deal with that then. Max out traditional IRA contributions. Deductible contributions reduce taxable income, gross tax deferred withdrawal. So same deal. You want to max out, like I said, there's a certain amount that you can do up to. So if you go to that highest amount, then you put more money up and it's lowering your taxable income. Okay, it says consider catch-up contributions. So for those over 50, additional contributions allow for even greater tax savings. So I guess the closer you get to retirement age, and I will be hitting 50 this year, they let you put a little bit more because I guess they figure you're getting closer to it, and you got to play catch up. Okay, another thing, health savings account. I do that as well. If you do a health savings account, you are taking money out of your paycheck, having them to put it in an account for you for medically or healthcare related things. So I do that as well. I have them take an additional $200 every time I get paid and put it into this health savings account. So now, if I have like a copay or I'm gonna take my insurance, so a lot of times my deductible is real high. So if I go in and I have to pay for a lab or something like that, I can just swipe the card. The good part about it is that $200 is lowering my taxable income because that 200 every 2 weeks is knocking off how much I'm being taxed. Same thing, if you don't want to do a health savings account, a lot of you have an option to do a flexible spending account. It's similar, but the thing with the flexible spending account is usually you have to, whatever amount you say you're going to have taken out for the year, you have to use that entire amount. So you have to kind of be specific. Like if you know you usually spend a certain amount on medical stuff, go ahead and take that full amount. Because like if it gets to the end of the year and you still have $200 sitting in there, you lose it. That's the thing about that. So you have to, you want to kind of guesstimate, but with as close as possible, so you won't lose. The good thing about the health savings account, it rolls over. And a lot of y'all probably already know this, but because most jobs have this. But if you like me, when they were talking about it at first, I didn't know what they were talking about. Because this is my thing. They bring you in them doggone jobs on that first day, have you sitting in orientation for like 6 hours. And at the end of the day, when all you want to do is go home, that's when they start talking to you about retirement and FSA and HSA. And to that point, I'm like, just tell me where to sign. Just tell me what y'all want me to sign so I can go home. Cause I'm so I never really. It's like I be so worn out by the time we get to that portion. I ain't got no questions. I don't want to ask no questions. I'm ready to go home. So, and then usually when you do that part, you don't revisit it a lot of times unless something comes up specific to it. Because I know a lot of people when they fill out their W-4, they don't touch it again. And they've been at jobs like Tony said, he had been at a job for almost 20 years and hadn't updated his W-4. And during that time, he had a child. They moved a couple times, all kind of things that would affect your taxable income, and he didn't go in and correct it because he didn't, you don't know what you don't know. So that's very important. Check your W-4. Most jobs now do it online, but if not, go to HR, and they got that little slip of paper, and you go in there and you put your information there. You can't do it wrong unless you lie. So don't lie, just be honest. Okay, so what else can you do? It says deductions and credits. Itemized deductions if beneficial. Okay, so what they generally we get a standard deduction. How much it is depends on how you're filing. If you're single, you get a certain amount as a standard deduction. If you had a household, you get a certain amount. If you're married, you get a certain amount. So all that's saying is a standard deduction is like, let's say if it's, I don't know what it is this year, I haven't looked. Let's say it's 15,000. So that means out of that 50,000, off the top, they're taking 15,000 out as a standard deduction. Now, if you have specific deductions, and I'm not gonna get into all that because I don't know what all deductions people who don't have a business may have, because like when I didn't have a business, I didn't have it. But If your personalized deductions, like that you itemize, and when they say itemize, they just mean instead of going with that standard amount, you going down and you add up each deduction to see how much you're gonna get. If your itemized deduction is more than the standard, then you use it. If it's less, you're gonna go with the standard deduction because that makes sense. Like let's say if you counted up all your itemized deductions and you got $5,000 worth of deductions. Well, if the standard is 15, of course you're going with 15 because that's going to reduce your taxable income more. And I hope I'm not being too technical with this, but I just want you to kind of understand the difference. Okay, so here it says use pre-tax dollars for eligible medical dependent care expenses, reduce the taxable income, reduce your tax bill directly, like the earned income tax credit or child tax credit. And so you got to have a child to do that one. And then with the medical, what I found, and I've heard a lot of people say it is, the amount is kind of up there. So you got to be darn near on your deathbed to have enough deductions from what I've heard now. I haven't personally tried to do any health deductions because usually I don't have a lot. When I think of healthcare deductions that are big, usually in my mind, I'm thinking somebody who has like, chronic kidney disease that has to go get dialysis or whatever, or something chronic that's a lot of money out of pocket. If just your general going to the doctor and stuff, that usually does not add up to be enough to make a big difference on itemization. But everybody's different, so I'm just putting it out there based on my knowledge and how when I've looked into it, I have never had enough to do a medical deduction. Okay, so those are and other things are like let's see, capital. I don't know nothing about capital losses. Invest in municipal bonds. Apparently, that'll lower your taxable income. I don't have any, so I can't speak to that. Oh, donate to qualified charities. Now I'm gonna stress this. I usually track my donations to charities because I do try to help when I see a charity that's worthwhile. What I have not gotten to the bottom of yet, though, be careful with this because I don't exactly know how like the GoFundMe. I don't know if the GoFundMe, because anybody can do a GoFundMe. What if you contribute to one and it's not like, of course you're giving out of a good place, but if it's not something that's recognized and it doesn't count towards your deductions, you would want to know that. That might decide how much you're gonna give. You know. So when I went through this last time looking at tax stuff, I did donate to quite a few GoFundMes, but I didn't put it down because I'm like, I don't know if this would even count, so I have to look into it. But donations like good, like it used to be when I would donate to Goodwill or whatever, they would give you this little ticket and you could count that. Or if you don't, like when I do my daughter's school fundraisers and stuff, those are organized charities, so to speak. So I can count that money that I donate towards it. So keep that in mind too. Okay, so those are some things that you can do if you don't have a business to lower your taxable income. So the next thing I want to talk about, I hate I can't show that either. Some of y'all might have seen earlier this week, I posted something on most of my social media pages about SoFi banking. SoFi is a online banking. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with, like back in the day, I used to have an Ing account with a little orange circle. That was a good online. I don't have it anymore. I'm not saying it's not still a good one. I just don't have it. So I can't speak to that one. But I do have this SoFi account and I've got the link in here for that as well. And it's SoFi, just like it sounds, SoFi. So what I liked about it, first thing I like about it, as soon as I opened it up, they gave me $25 to start an account. And I like the fact that everything is online. I was able to add in all of my other banking information so that I can see everything like at one time. So I've got my Wells Fargo information in there, my PNC information, and the account that I started with them. So all of that is in one place versus having to go log in over here, log in over here, log in over here. So, and then also now I'm not big on, one of the things I've learned from the business is when it comes to investing, banks are usually at the bottom as far as rate of return. But a lot of people are not ready to start getting into investing in other ways. It can be a little intimidating. So I know of a couple of the one I'm going to tell you about next is Acorn. A lot of people heard of Acorn, but SoFi does have a savings account that has a rate of return. Where is it? I want to say it's like over 4%, 4 point something percent. It's not on the slide. But the good thing about that is usually like with my bank for like Wells Fargo, the savings was the return or the interest that grew on that was nowhere near 4%. So if you do feel more comfortable doing a savings account versus checking into doing, a more like I go through Primerica to do my outside investing. You may not be ready for that step yet. So thanks for coming through, Pandy. I appreciate you. Pandy said she gotta run. I'm about to wrap this up in a minute anyway. So 4% it's not high, but it's not 1%. You know what I'm saying? So that was another reason I like SoFi. And then with SoFi, if they're into the network thing too. If you refer somebody and they start an account, you've already gotten a 25 just for you opening your account. You will get $75 for whoever opens account behind you. And a lot of these banks and smaller investment companies would do that just as an incentive to motivate people to start investing. So that leads me, so that's SoFi. I put the link in for that if you want to click on it and see what that's about. It says join SoFi and say goodbye to monthly fees, hidden charges, frustrating customer service. Now I'll get back to y'all on that customer service because I am one of them people that customer service hate to see me coming. Because especially if it's about my money, yeah, you got a problem on your hands and you can't tell me what's going on. So I keep y'all posted on it. I hadn't had to call them yet. And it says with SoFi, you get high yield checking and savings, earn competitive interest rates on your deposits, early paydays, get your paycheck up to 2 days earlier with direct deposit, investing and borrowing, grow your wealth and manage debt all in one app. And that's kind of what I was telling you about. You can bring all your other link of your other accounts so that you can see what's going on with them at the same time, and that helps. Because I told you I check my account every day, and I have like 3 different accounts. So having to log into each one, now I can just go into SoFi and see what's going on with all of them, what's cleared, what hadn't cleared, all that type of stuff. Okay, and then it says award-winning customer service. Like I said, I'll get back to y'all on that because everybody claims they got good customer service, do not have good customer service. Okay, so it says open your SoFi online account today and get $25 to start your financial journey. So y'all keep that in mind. The next thing I was going to talk to you about, a lot of you probably heard about Acorn. Acorns is an investment company as well. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, what started me with Acorns was we had a guest on when Tony and I first started back in, I think it was, I don't know, 2020 maybe? I don't know. June Collier. June Collier is the VP of marketing with myEcon, and he is so knowledgeable. I have learned a lot from this man. So what June was came on the show to talk about, we told him you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So he wanted to talk about investing. Because one of the big things that myEcon promotes is own a piece of America. You spending money here, you buying stuff, own a piece of it too. I mean, I ain't mad if you want to go buy Jordans, but have a little bit of stock in Nike. And you don't have to have a whole lot to get started investing. So when June came on, he was promoting this thing where he was saying save 1 hour for every day you work a week. So let's say if you making, or he said try anyway, $1 an hour. $1 an hour, I think what he said. So if you work 80, you get paid every 2 weeks. That's an 80-hour work week. So that's you taking $80 because it's $1 for every hour you work and putting it into an investment account. And see, and he kind of had the breakdown of how much it would grow over a year, 5 years. If you get I'll put that link in the drop down. If you get a chance, go back and look at that because I still have that live from back then. But anyway, when he was talking about it, he was saying, people when they think of investments, they're like, I don't have a lot of extra money. This is what I do. I have them to take $20 out of my checking account a week. $20. Put it in. So if 4 weeks in a month, that's $80 that I done had taken. And Acorns, what I did, I went in there and asked, do you want aggressive? And they explain all this, but when they say aggressive, that means they putting you in higher risk. You know what they say, what's the phrase? The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Well, I ain't always willing to do the big risk. So you can do, mild, moderate, how safe, depending on how safe you want your money to be. They are going to be ones that's going to go in and invest the money for you. So all you're really doing is putting money into like a savings account, but instead of a savings account, it's an investment account. So with Acorns, you can put in as little or as much as you want. So like I said, I do the $20 a week. And then the other thing I do is whenever I swipe my debit card for Wells Fargo, I round the change. I let them round the change up. So like if I buy something for $1.47, they're gonna take that 53 cents and go ahead and take that out because they're rounded up to $2, and they're gonna put it in the thing. And you wouldn't think it was a lot, but think about how often you swipe your card. People, we don't even live in a cash society no more. Everybody swipes for everything. So them little 2 and 3 cents here, 15 cents there, at the end of a year it adds up. So like when I went back and looked, I think it was 2 years later, that $20 a week and that extra change had gotten up to like $6,000. And I just think that is such a very basic and good way to get started because you don't have to know everything that is to know about investing to do it. And like I said, if you want to put $1 a week in there, you can do $1 a week. It doesn't matter. So I also have my Acorn link in there because with that, if you start your account today, you get $5 towards your account. So why not? Like I said, if you want to get started and say, I'm gonna put in $1 a week, and you may want to tell them to round up your change. I don't know, but even if you just do $1 a week, that's $52 by the end of the year that they're investing into things that's going to make it grow versus it just sitting in your account. So, you know, I think with investing is one of those things we want to do in baby steps because, you've heard so many horror stories about investing. I ain't gonna lie, I heard a bunch of them too. I don't know nothing about investing. I'm still not an investment guru now, but I have a lot better understanding because part of myEcon is we are taught investing principles, like what the terms mean. They don't tell you what to invest in, but they explain how investments work, how to read the everybody gets statements. If you got a 401k, if you like me, usually you just look to see how much it went up or how much it went down, depending on what was going on. So you see total gains and total losses. But with this company, they offer training and education on investing, so you actually can understand what's going on. Now I ain't gonna say you're gonna be E.F. Hutton, and when you talk, everybody listen. But for me personally, I want to know what's going on with my money. What y'all do with y'all is y'all business, but I want to know what's going on with mine. So I took advantage of that, and I have done the investment training and still continue to do it whenever they offer it. Okay, so that pretty much is everything that I have to talk about for tonight. So basically, just to reiterate, Go in, do your checkup on your W-4 if you've had any changes, and use that estimator. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find the website. IRS. If I can just copy and paste it. Go in there so that you don't have no surprises about how much you're gonna owe in taxes. Because you can plug in IRS estimate. Whatever. Just because I'm trying to type it in. IRS estimator. It's it's like a website you can go to that the IRS has to help you estimate how much to take. Okay, IRS contribution calculator. That is what it is. Let's see. And if I can get it to pull up, I'm gonna put the link over here. So you can go in and see what I'm talking about. Because a lot of people dread doing taxes because they don't know how much they're gonna end up owing. If you can go in at the beginning of the year and figure that out, you don't have to be worried about dread. You can see how much it's saying you're gonna owe. You can adjust how much they take out accordingly, and you can make it so that you just break even, or whatever you however you decide to do it. But where is that? IRS tax. That ain't what I do. Oh no, yeah, because I think everybody should use these. It's not hard to follow. Tax withholding estimator. Okay. I wish I could share my screen without getting kicked out. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna copy and paste this and put it down here. If you get a chance, go back and look at one of your check stubs, the most recent one, and fill it in based on whatever questions they're asking you. And they're basically asking you how often it'll ask you, do you get paid once a month, twice a month, every 2 weeks. It's gonna ask you how much they took out on your last check for health insurance, how much they took out for retirement. So it's getting all this information so it can calculate it up for you and let you know what you can expect just based on how you have that W-4 filled out for your upcoming tax year. And knowing that ahead of time is way better than finding out in January of this year that you underpaid by $5,000 and now you gotta get on a payment plan to pay them the $5,000 back. If you had known that a year ago, you could have moved accordingly and maybe not had this to hit you all at one time. And at the same time, like I said, if you know you're gonna get a refund and you know it's gonna be $10,000 or whatever, why not go ahead and adjust your W-4 so you get that money during the year and you don't have to run up credit cards trying to you know make ends meet, that once you get your income tax, you're gonna take it and pay off your credit card. You see what I'm saying? So like instead of running up the credit cards with the interest, go and get your money now, and then by this time next year you don't have anything. It's you spending habits though. There's something else. But myEcon gives you all of this information to help you figure all of this stuff out. So we are at 54 minutes. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and hanging out with me. Thank you, Sheila Lee. Y'all check out Northern Soul Candles. The link is in there. Pandy, Making Money Move with Pandy. Y'all check Pandy out. She is also with myEcon. She has and Pandy is going to be doing a class coming up soon on like if you want to learn how to do the videos and the different graphics and stuff. Like if you have a channel where like a YouTube channel or whatever, even if you have a product like Sheila does the candles, it teaches you how to go onto different apps like Canva, whoever, and create the ad, the pictures, the ad, however you want to call it. So she's got a class coming up. I will share that in the link as well if you're interested in checking that out. So there's Making Money Moves with Pen. Okay, who else? Anybody else in there? I think that was it as far as people who commented. If you did comment and I missed you, I apologize. But that is going to be it for me. Now, if y'all are interested in getting this business started, you can get started today for a startup cost of $19.95. And then it's going to be depending on whether you want to just get the basic membership, which is $39.95 a month, and all of this is tax deductible, meaning you're going to put all of this on there to lower your taxable income. So the $39.95 a month is for the website, all the trading, the information to operate as a business. So reach out to myself, reach out to Tony. If you know Pandy, reach out to Pandy, and check out the business. See if it's something that you may want to do. If you already have a business and you're not sure if you are getting all of your deductions, you definitely want to check it out. So anyway, I will see you guys next week. Hopefully Tony will be back. Yeah, I can be back. And if y'all have any questions, I am on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Wherever you see me, tap me on the shoulder. Tell me you want more information. I'm not going to harass you. I will send you what you asked for. And then if you have more questions, I'll be happy to talk to you about that. But, yeah, just reach out to us and we will help you get started. And this is the best time to get started, y'all. It's the first of the year. Go and get your finances right first of the year so that you're looking good at the end of the year. Okay? So anyway, let me get out of here because if I don't get out of here under an hour, I can't upload it to Instagram. So I will see y'all next time. I hope y'all have a great weekend. And if you need me, holler at me. Okay?
Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Now, are you ready to start your home-based business? If your answer is yes, contact Tony or Melissa to get started today.